And we're on. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I thought I'll play a recovery game because, I've just been playing a horror game and it's really, I don't know why, I can't take horror anymore. I'm too much the psychological stuff. Too scared. Um, First tree. So yeah, I got this recently. It's only 2.5 gigs. Has no bearing really on the quality of the game. Good rating. On sale, £1.67. But it's supposed to be quite attractive. So it's all about the graphics. Bit of a running simulator by all accounts, but yeah, short but sweet. So yeah, let's check it out anyway. The first tree. I think you play as a fox. Should be quite cool. I like the idea of playing as a fox. So we just get 3 paw prints. No, 4 paw prints. Okay.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit. Usually get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I missed all those controls, to be fair.
I don't know, it seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes, I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense. A lot's happened the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
Sounds pretty cool.
She couldn't stay, though. She had to find her other 2 children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient. Something with answers. fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
I don't know if to just run the whole way. I don't think there is any stamina, so why not? Footprints there. Oh, they're mine. Yeah. These lights represent sort of scent markers or something. She's looking for her cubs by the sound of it.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it. I just knew from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack, like my father.
My dad built me one of my first toys, which I absolutely adored. It was a wooden fortress. Absolutely adored that. And then I think he threw it out. I mean, it went up in the attic, but got thrown out, and I was absolutely devastated. I don't understand it. Well, I think it was more my mum's insistence that it was disposed of. It was terrible. How am I going to get this? This fox has got a hell of a jump. Missed it. No, I think I can see one over there, unfortunately. So there's two over there. Some all around here, actually. Oh, what's this down here? That's another one. really sounds like a digital piano to me. Oh, hello.
My teenage years were full of sketching, angst, and trouble. I wasn't popular or unpopular. Maybe just forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom, so I hung out with crazy kids, doing crazy things, even though I mostly just watched the chaos ensue. We did it all. Put fireworks in mailboxes, hide roadkill in people's garages, break windows of the barber shop in Anchorage. My dad was furious, but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
I think being an adult means there's no one to stop you making hard decisions. He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah, I realize that now. But at the time, I was sure he was more interested in growing his business than what was going on with me. He was working another late night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they'd come all the way out to my house for nothing. One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin. I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while. The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. Felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings. A cop outside of Eagle River pulled us over after he saw us send a bottle rocket into someone's yard. What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
I'm not sure what a bottle rocket is. Just be a rocket full of water. They won't have the police involved. Scar. There it is. This is more like a journey through this guy's memories, actually. I'd be surprised if we haven't got another dig here. It's a lake. Quite nice. I do like this piano music as well. What's this? Butterflies. Cause a whirlwind or some description. at them. Follow me. I don't jump. Oh, cool. What did that say? I can't jump without butterflies. I can. That extra little boost actually. This looks enormous, this place. Super cool. Loads of butterflies, it's wonderful. My favourite insects. Could they be my favourite insect actually? I wonder. Perhaps. I mean, I do love ladybirds. Oh, it's a hard one. Won't make it. Did I overshoot it? It looked like I did, but I struggled. Let's zoom in a bit. Oh, well that was close. No prizes for being close. Oh, I didn't get my second jump. Too out of touch. That's the one. Turn down cheeky one. I've got 3 buddleias that are going to grow enormous this year, and it's just going to be butterfly heaven. I trimmed them back at the right time of the year, unlike last year. So hopefully I'm just going to get so many butterflies. I really hope. Oh, they're wonderful. I've also become, over the last 3 years, very much accustomed to bees and wasps in the garden. There's about 20,000 species of bees, and about 200,000 species of wasps. Now, that's an interesting one. Why would there be butterflies up there? If I wanted butterflies, I'd just grab the ones that I had already. So this is intriguing. There's probably something quite unique. Wonderbar. This little area. I'd love to visit somewhere like this, just a solitary waterfall. Surrounded by such lush green. Butterflies. Wow, that's a big jump. Okay, let's think about this with some logique. The last set of butterflies, the set I was looking at just then, can only be acquired via a jump, as far as I can tell. So I need to get them first in order to not rid myself of the set. So here we go. And they survived the water. Oh, that's loads of butterflies. I've never got a butterfly in my garden to land on me in 3 years of trying. Just don't. Well, they have done, but not through my like forcing it. You can't force it. It just happens when it happens. I've tried to hold out
my friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was, and I laughed along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush and able to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal wall keeping me from leaving, where all I would have to look forward to are lumber yards and evening beers. I had to climb over.
Oh, you're joking.
That was my only goal for a long time.
Damn it. back here. Yeah, I sat there holding out my finger like a stick, like a twig, for ages. Nothing. What I hadn't thought about doing though was leaving some sort of jam or something. I'm trying to think what they had in the butterfly sanctuary place in Stratford-upon-Avon. Must have had some sweet, sugary thing or something. Some insects don't actually eat. They just metamorphosize and then sort of get a day of flying around and mating, but don't have mouths. What does that? Maybe it's a certain species of butterfly, the little white ones. I'm guessing this guy, the narrator, is from Ohio. I don't know why, I'm just guessing. Right, this time, get up close. So let's have a practice run with a face plant. Doom, doom, okay. Here we go. Oh, would have been nice to have got that one. Would have been lovely to have got that one. Not going back. When I do the 100% run through in about 20 years time after I've played this, I don't even give myself 20 years, what, 60 years of age? Yeah, probably. In 20 years time, when I do the 100% completion, I'll get that one.
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea.
Oh, it's Alaska. Okay.
It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end. But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad?
Beautiful woodland. Seems quite tropical, but it seems like a range of biomes, sort of more woodland. Those three things led me to. Quite a strange colour grading if you look at the sky. It's very heavily green, I think. Gona. Maybe see more butterflies, I wonder. I thought I was going to get stuck there. It was okay in the end. Oh, I'm surprised I made that. This fox can fly. Dream.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk, and I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
Quite an acrobat, this fox. Oh, that being said, I'll be big. Let's not be greedy.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. We carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage and set up a cinder block campfire at the site we'd always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me. My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
Why he hasn't mentioned his mum yet. Racking up the old gamers points. That's a gamer score. Oh. I wonder, by the time the Xbox platform is over and done with, because everything has a shelf life, doesn't it? Really, nothing goes on forever. I don't think there's a single thing that has on this planet. And I wonder, by the time the Xbox service is over, who would have racked up the most gamer points? I used to think people who were gaming on the original Xbox had such an advantage, especially when games are like no longer available and stuff. I think no, actually, there's new games coming out all the time, so those people will grow old and die, and more people will come up, and gaming is even more popular with the youth of today than it was with the youth back then. So who will end up with the most gamer points, I wonder?
We
And
were
what value
happiest
would that be?
underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods, pen and map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. But then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
a bit of a mission up there. sure where I want to be. Oh, that's the thing above thing. Okay, so I don't really, I've done that then. Okay, well then. Where's we next? Oh. Got a hell of a jump when she wants to. Let's just raise the sun. Oh, indeed. Sunrise. This certainly looks promising, this. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. It's truly wonderful. What a fantastic tree. Extraordinarily nimble, that's for sure.
The perpetrator stood nearby, unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry for everything.
Perpetrator. So what happened then? I've just got to commit. No. I shouldn't have committed to that one. The music's dynamic, as in it'll loop on certain sections. It's really cool. The only music I'm aware of that's dynamic like that is the soundtrack to We Play Tanks, which, like, you know, if there's like a bigger tank, it will just drop in something else and for a few bars, and it's pretty cool actually. The music seems to fit the events well. It's a long way down. I love doing that after I've descended from a mountain, and then I just remembered to turn around and look back up it, and I think, no way did I just come down there. Like, it just looks vast. Sometimes when you go up and down mountains, because of the way that like ridges and topography work, you can't really sometimes see like the the floor, the sea level type thing, the base, if you like, of the mountain from high up, and sometimes you can't see the top of the mountain from high up. Like, you end up constantly thinking that each little ridge is the summit. There we go. What's this? Oh,
I need to go to bed. I just can't talk about this anymore. Good night.
otherwise, good night. Yeah, I was gonna kick it as well myself, but yeah, I just wanted to get to like another section, like a loading section. Oh, it's wonderful. Okay, yeah, that'll be my cue. Hmm. Ugh. I'll resume from this point next time, I think. Good night.
Joseph.